Vaishali Siddhapa and welcome to my channel Complemental Economics. This particular video I am going to talk about the new blueprint which is released by Karnataka PU board, the students who are going to appear in the exams of 2022 and onwards. At the same time, now I am not only discussing the blueprint, at the same time I am going to give a strategy to the students who want to score 100 out of 100. At the same time I'm going to tell you all the kind of students, like the students who just want to pass the exam because they think economics is very difficult, scoring 40 is more than enough for them. At the same time, the few of the students, they want to score 70 to 80 marks without much effort. So I'm going to give a strategy for each kind of a students. Let's talk about the blueprint first. So in the first blueprint, the blueprint which is presented by the Karnataka PU board, they have given microeconomics and macroeconomics, both are in the same page. But to make it easier to understand to you guys, so what I have done is microeconomics and macroeconomics I have classified into two different slides. The first slide I am going to talk about microeconomics blueprint, and the second slide I am going to talk about macroeconomics blueprint slide. So first of all, let's talk about microeconomics slide. So in this blueprint you can see which are the chapter. First of all, the first thing what you have to observe whenever you see any of the blueprint, high weightage chapter. So if you see here high weightage chapter, in the total marks from each chapter, so you can see 28 is the high weightage in this particular page. So that means the consumer behavior chapter is having the highest weightage in the blueprint of Karnataka PU board economics blueprint. So the next chapter in microeconomics I am going to ignore bit right now as if. So the first chapter, the most important chapter which you have to read all the questions, that is consumer behavior chapter. Because in this chapter you have 1 mark question, you have 2 mark question, you have 4 mark question, you have 6 mark question, 2 questions you have, and you have POQ, which is project oriented question also. In this case, after 1 mark and 2 mark, you have to cover all the chapters. You do not have any options, because 1 mark question you have 20 questions you have to write. So they covered from all the 12 chapters, like 6 microeconomics chapters and 6 macroeconomics chapter. 2 marks also you have to cover all the chapters. See here, the first chapter you do not have any 2 mark, but still it is always better covering all the chapters. So now the question comes like project oriented question. The easy part is done. 1 mark I am done with, 2 mark I am done with, because you have to cover all the chapters, and that means microeconomics and macroeconomics you have to cover all the questions for 1 mark and 2 mark. Let's talk about the easiest part first, then I'll come back to the lengthy answers, which is 4 mark and the 6 mark. Here you have project oriented question. The project oriented question, you have only 2 questions in microeconomics. The first question you have in consumer behavior, and the second question you have in perfect computation, which is the 4th chapter. If you read only these 2 questions, project oriented question, that is more than enough for you. So I'll tell you which are the questions you have to pick from that particular main. So perfect computation you have to read project oriented question, and consumer behavior you have to read one project oriented question. From microeconomics 5 marks is completely covered. 1 mark all the chapter, 2 mark all the chapter, 5 mark only 2 chapter, that is consumer behavior chapter and the perfect computation. When it comes to 4 mark and the 6 mark, see here 4 mark you are going to get from the first chapter micro, second chapter, third chapter and the 4th chapter. Market equilibrium chapter you do not have any single question for 4 marks. Non-competitive market you do not have any questions for 4 mark. So you can skip these 2 chapters for 4 mark. No need to read any question. 4 mark question for market equilibrium and non-competitive market. You can cover only first chapter, second chapter, third chapter and the 4th chapter. See here, 1 question, 2 question, 2 question, which is 4 and 5, 6. 6 question already covered here. 6 questions. In a 4-mark question, you have to answer only 7 questions. In 7 question, micro is already covered 6 question. That means it's extra question in macro you can cover. And when it comes to microeconomics 6-mark question, as I told you, high weighted chapter is consumer behavior. Let me tell you, you have 2 questions 6 mark. Hardly you have 5 to 6 question which is in 6 mark, and 2 questions you're going to get it for 6 mark question. It is easy to prepare and easiest chapter also. And the next chapter which you have to prepare for 6 mark, it is market equilibrium and non-competitive market. In exam, in the 6 mark, you will be having 8 questions. In 8 questions, you have to write only 4. See, 2 question, 3rd question, 4th question. All questions are covered from micro only. So what you can do is, you can prepare this chapter, you can prepare this chapter, you can ignore this chapter. 3 questions is more than enough from this particular part. Macroeconomics, again will pick one of the easiest chapter and you can prepare yourself. Non-competitive market, yeah, market equilibrium, whichever you find it's difficult, you can skip the chapter. So you can skip this, you can skip this. So yeah, this is the way how you're going to prepare. See, 6 mark you can skip these all, and 5 mark no need to prepare for these all. Wherever I have a question mark, no need to prepare. So microeconomics combiningly you're going to score 86 mark. Now let's talk about the macroeconomics. Macroeconomics chapter, again 1 mark and 2 mark you have to cover from all the chapters. And first of all, let me check out the high weightage chapters. High weightage chapters, here you can see this one and this chapter. The second chapter, which is national income accounting, and the last chapter, which is open economy chapter, you have high weightage chapter. So both the chapters compulsory you have to cover. Microeconomics, the second chapter, consumer behavior, macroeconomics, national income accounting, and the last chapter, which is open economy. So when it comes to this, so you can see here, the easiest chapter is introduction chapter. You have 2 questions for 1 mark and for 1 question, which is easier one. So now let me check. 1 mark, 2 mark is already over in this main. 5 mark question. 5 mark, for the 5 mark project oriented questions, you have 2 questions only here, that from money and banking and the open economy. So money and banking you're going to get the project oriented, and open economy also you're going to get one of the question. So it is always better you preparing all the things. So from these all chapters you are not going to get any of the project oriented question in that case. So now let's talk about the 4 mark. In microeconomics already we covered 6 question, isn't it? So now this is one of the easiest one. So let's cover this. This is again 3 questions you're going to get from national income accounting, and it's a high weightage chapter. You have 6 to 7 questions in national income accounting. You're going to get 3 questions. So it is better reading from this chapter. So in this way, so microeconomics, if you're covering 6 questions, this is the 7th question, and it's a 10 questions combining. 10 questions. So that means you're going to get 14 questions. In 14 questions, you have to answer only 7 questions. So if you, you will be getting 12 questions. In 12 questions, you have to answer only 7. So that means you prepared for 10 for the safer side. So no need to prepare this, no need to prepare this, no need to prepare this, no need to prepare this. So if you think macro is easy, prepare for macro and skip the microeconomics. And when it comes to 6 mark now, 6 mark question, national income accounting you're going to get 1 question, money and banking you're going to get 1 question, budget you're going to get 1 question, open economy you're going to get the 1 question. So in this case, micro you're going to cover 4 questions. So in there I told you to skip 1 chapter. So here also I'll advise you to skip one of the chapter. Whichever the chapter you think it is quite difficult, that chapter you can skip for the 6 mark. For an example, if you money and banking chapter, it is one of the easiest chapter for the 6 mark. So keep that. And budget chapter is also very easy for the 6 marks. So keep that. So if you think national income is easy, yeah, open economy, it's up to you. For me, national income accounting is also very easy, open economy. So let me tick this and cross this. So this way I'm going to prepare for 6 mark only national income accounting, money and banking and budget. So no need to prepare income determination, no need to prepare the first chapter. So you have to prepare only 3 chapters for 6 mark, that is national income accounting, money and banking and budget chapter. So 3 questions covered here. 3 questions covered in microeconomics. That means instead of 4 questions, you already prepared for 6 questions in the according to the blueprint. So this is the way how you are going to prepare yourself for the strategy. So now let's talk about the strategy now. The students who want to score only 35 marks. I'll classify into 3 different ways now. The students who want to score 35, yeah, just pass. The students who want to score nearby 70 marks. And the students who want to score 100 out of 100. So few of the things it is very quite common for everybody. So let's talk about it. You have to prepare for 1 mark all the chapters, 2 mark all the chapters, and 5 marks which is project oriented. You will be having 4 to 5 questions. Prepare all. That means I have in the previous slides I have shown you which are the chapters you're going to get 5 mark questions. So that if you're going to answer 1 mark all, you're going to get 20 marks. If you're going to answer all 2 marks, you're going to get 18 marks. If you're going to answer 2 questions of 5 marks, you're going to get 10. So in this case, you're going to get 48 marks. So you wanted 35 just to pass by skipping all important questions like 4 mark and 6 mark. Without preparing 6 mark and 4 mark, easily you can score 35 marks. So that means 48 marks for the safer side. And let's talk about the strategy for 70 marks, the students who want to score 70 marks. So as usual, 1 mark. So you're going to get 20 marks. 2 marks from all the chapters you have to read. So you're going to get 18 marks. Compulsory you have to prepare yourself for 5 mark questions. So 10 mark. As usual, you're going to get 48. Just round it to 50. You have to score 25 extra marks. So just go with 6 mark. 6 mark, what you do is, which are the chapter you have to prepare is, second chapter microeconomics, and the next chapter in the microeconomics you can prepare 5th chapter microeconomics. And when it comes to macroeconomics, prepare national income accounting, which is the second chapter of macro. Second chapter of macro, second chapter. Macro, second chapter. You're going to get 1 question for 6 marks. So you can prepare second chapter for 6 mark. And the next chapter, open economy, you just say 6th chapter macro. If you prepare this 4 chapters, 1 question from second chapter micro, all the questions from 6 mark, 5th chapter micro, second chapter macro, 6th chapter macro. So from this main, 6 into 4, it is 24 marks. 20, 18, 10, 48 mark, 48 for this. 58, 68, 72 marks you can score from this by skipping all 4 marks, because 4 marks you have so many questions and maximum chapters are covered. So it is quite difficult. If you thinking that difficult to score, this is a best strategy for 72 marks. And the students who want to score 100 out of 100, so let me give the best strategy for you guys also. So 1 mark and 2 mark, 5 mark, it is compulsory, so you cannot skip that. So let me tell you the 6 mark. So the students who do not want to miss not even a single mark, for them they have to follow bit of extra questions preparation. So definitely the students who are thinking for scoring 100 marks, the effort will be definitely good. So for them they have to read bit more to score this marks. For the 6 mark, you prepare the second chapter. I'm talking about micro first of all. Second chapter all questions of 6 mark, and the 5th chapter of all question, and the 6th chapter of all micro. Just because for the keeping yourself in the safer side, because any one question if goes there to here, you should be able to answer all 4 questions. At the same time, let's talk about macro now. Macro, you can prepare second chapter, macro. Again, you can prepare budget chapter. Budget is 4th chapter. And the last chapter, okay, budget is a 5th chapter. And the 6th chapter, open economy for a macro. Keep yourself a safer side. You're preparing for 6 questions now. Each question, each chapter carries 1 question. So, okay, we'll do one thing. We'll delete this chapter. So, you can prepare second chapter because you already have 2 questions there. So, you prepare for second chapter and you prepare for 5th chapter. Skip the 6th chapter. Only 2 chapters you have to prepare for the 6 mark micro. And in already 3 questions are covered. 3 questions. And here you can skip again. Budget chapter is easy. Okay, open economy chapter you can keep it. So you're going to cover 2 questions. 3 questions and 2 questions. It is a safer side, keeping yourself 5 questions prepared. The 4 chapters. By preparing only 4 chapters out of 12 chapters, you can score 24 marks. So after this, when it comes to 4 mark question. So let's talk about the 4 mark question. The 4 mark question, what you can do is, the 4 mark question in microeconomics, just cover all microeconomics first beginning 4 chapters. As I told you before, for 4 marks, cover all beginning 4 chapters. So you're going to cover 6 questions. This 4. Then when it comes to this macroeconomics, you prepare only 2 chapters for 4 mark, that is this. 3 questions covered here, 1 question covered here. So 10 questions you're going to prepare. You skip all this chapter. If you're going to do this strategy, definitely you're going to score 100 out of 100. This is a best strategy to anybody to score. So if you really want to score better, if you need a personal advice, I am always welcome you guys. I have given my email ID in my previous videos also. You can contact me through my email IDs. A few of the students, if you have my number, so if you need my book, I have written book also, a handbook for second PUC economics. If you are interested, if you think that the classes which I am doing, it's really beneficial for you, so definitely you can call me, you can contact me anytime, you can mail me anytime. So I will be, if you're just going to mail me, and if you say that you want to discuss about the blueprint या exam strategy, definitely I'll pass my number so you can talk to me personally. So if you really liked my strategies, so please do share and subscribe. Thank you so much and keep watching my videos. Thank you.